Hey guys, this is Goggling Freak here. Before I do the thing, I have something to address. Do you guys remember the time I told you about the Shoujo I website and how it was deleted basically? It turns out, after doing some random searching on the internet to see if I could find any of the stories, because I really missed reading them and they were really good despite some grammatical errors, I was able to find a. What was it? I was able to find a website thing where you could. Where it shows the website of shoujoi.com with everything, like when it first started, how it progressed, and all that stuff. Although you can't really go into the forums in that one because some of them are really, I don't even know, but I was able to find all of the stories that I used to read, and I'm just really happy about that. Uh, yeah, I'm just tired. I just ate 3 donuts, and that just, I found it I found it. What was it? I found it Friday, and was this Friday? Yeah, I found it Friday, and was able to hang on to some of the things, some of the things, some of the fan fictions. Um, there is more that I found, but I'm not really going to go into that much detail as of right now. I'm just gonna say I found that random website that showed shoujoai.com. I'm just really happy, and I found all that stuff, and yeah. Why are you asking why I'm bringing this up? Well, I'm going to do a fanfiction reading from their website, and it is a Final Fantasy VII. No, it is not Tifa Aeris. Well, not now anyway. I might probably do one in the future, but today it is a Tifa Yuffie story, and it is called After the Storm by Nen Konjin. Nen, wait, Nekojin. Yeah, I think that's how you could say his name. Um, I'm gonna see if I can find the website. Oh wait, find the place I found it, or something. I'm gonna see if I can retrace my steps, and put the link in the description below for you guys to read. Um, I don't know if I should do that or not, but I'll figure out what to do. Anyway, After the Storm, a Final Fantasy VII fanfiction by Nekojin. Author's note: this tale was especially written for my good friend, Buri somebody, Lord Buri, who apparently has something against Eris. Why? She's nice. I don't personally, but I feel that there are too many stories already which slash Tifa and Eris. Yuffie just doesn't get enough time in my opinion, so here's a story involving her and Tifa. If you think about it, Eris is dead, unfortunately. Damn it. Yeah, that was, like, sad. Although, as a kid, when my dad was playing Final Fantasy VII, and when he got up to the part about Eris being killed, he told us to leave the room. We didn't really understand why until recently. It's like, wait, that's it? It was just getting, well, as a kid, you don't really see that kind of stuff, and it can be traumatizing, but I don't know, my family is weird. Anyway, Eris is dead. At the end of disc 1, we all know all the fans of it were upset and everything. And therefore, she can't have any meaningful relationships except in the afterlife. That is true. Explain Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, in a way. But anyway, I've never really had, I've I've never really been interested in writing love after death stories, so I probably won't do any Final Fantasy VII fanfics involving Eris. Understandable. It's a difference, like there's a difference between if you're doing it before she died, then after it's like, oh, she's dead. I loved her so much. I should have expressed my feelings to her. All that stuff. Although in this one story, I can't really find it right now. There was a fan fiction where Tifa and Eris were together again after they found this, after they were able to rush her to this place to try to get her to live, and that's logical. That and the other logical thing is you could also bring her back with Phoenix Down, which we don't understand why they didn't do that, which I don't even know. Yeah, we have a lot of logic, some people don't. Anyway, Tifa Lockhart was sore. Very sore, in fact. The events of the past few... The events of the past few days have been rough on her, and that was a massive understatement. Climbing down into the center of the world, fighting hideous monsters, the entire time, of course. Being abused by Sephiroth at the world's core, more than abused actually, it's like freaking killed, almost tried to kill them actually, more than once. Getting violently shaken as the high wind barely managed to escape the crater, and finally getting knocked unconscious as Holy collided with Meteor at the very end. When did they get unconscious? I was thinking of the time that hideous monster came out of the ground and flew past the high wind, and it caused Tifa to fall unconscious, but anyway. Tifa was sore, bruised, and scratched, but she was thankful to be alive. Well, I would be sore, too, if I was in her position. Well, I do training, so I've been sore on multiple occasions, but not the kind of sore that I can imagine Tifa being in, because if I was in her position, I could probably barely walk if I was that sore. Although that kind of happened once. But anyway, she opened her eyes and looked around, realizing even in the darkness of early morning, that she was still in Highwind's deck. The airship had taken a beating too, but through its transformation, thanks to Sid's emergency handle, it had survived. Not by much though. There were deep gashes in nearly every surface from flying debris, and scorch marks from flaming bits of stuff marred the once beautiful hull plating. That's pretty bad. It was a sad sight to see. I can only imagine. Sid's probably pissed. He cusses a lot from what I remember. Carefully, Tifa stood up, testing her weight on every step before finally reaching the door leading inside. Carefully opening it, she prepared to go inside to see if everyone else was still alive. A shape moved in the shadows, and Tifa froze. Suddenly, the shape pounced on her, sending her back to the deck with a rather loud thump. She looked up and was relieved to see a girlish face, framed by short black hair, staring into her own, less than a foot away. I'm not going to do the voices. I can't do them. Because You know my reasons. Hi, Yuffie, she said. Yuffie got Kai Kisaragi, I think that's the name. Yuffie Kisaragi, the 16-year-old ninja from Wutai, was on top of Tifa, pinning her arms to the deck as she stared at the older girl. Okay, why does she have her hands pinned down? Okay. Tifa, you're alive! She exclaimed, and quickly stood, helping Tifa up as well. Of course she's alive, you just tackled her to the... Never mind. Yeah, I noticed that myself, she said with a little grin. So, where is everyone else? The ninja looked at the ground. I don't know, she said a little timidly, not at all her ninja self. I haven't seen anyone else yet, and I'm kind of worried about it. Tifa blinked, then put an arm around the young girl. Let's go find them then, she said brightly. Yuffie nodded, and the two of them descended into the high wind to look for the rest of the party. I wonder where everyone is, Tifa mused quietly, half to herself as she stood in the control cabin. I thought it was control panel. Anyway, the search had not gone well. There was nothing on board. There was nobody on board. No Cloud with his big shiny sword. No Barrett. No loud Barrett. No quiet engine. Damn, I'm not driving so well. No loud Barrett. No quiet in a gym. What? Nope. No quiet enigmatic Vincent. Sid was gone, Kate Sith was missing, and Red 13 had vanished. Not even a single crew member remained on board the Highwind. Wait. I'm going to guess they're on the ground. If they were on the air, that would be a problem. This is weird, Yuffie said. She had regained most of her normal spirit, but she was still a little subdued. Do you think we can still fly this thing? I want to get back to Wutai and see if everyone there was okay. Tifa hummed. We can try. It looked to me like it was pretty badly damaged, though. The ninja went to one of the control stations and started punching buttons. Oh, wait, never mind. I thought physically punching the control things. But I'm guessing pressing buttons. A series of beeps came from the console. Then about five different warning lights came on, glowing a bright red. I'd probably be worried if I knew what those were, she said, with a ghost of a smile. Keep seeing something. She said with a ghost smile. She said with a ghost of a smile reminiscent of her old, mischievous personality. Let's see. She pushed a large red button and watched it turn green as the floor suddenly vibrated with a rumble coming from somewhere inside the ship. After about a minute passed and the rumble turned into a soft hum. The red warning lights turned to a soft amber, and the red warning lights turned to a soft amber, and Yuffie started dancing around happily. Woohoo! I did it! Tifa giggled as she walked up to the wheel at the front. Well, let's get going to see what there is to see. Punching a few buttons on the console, she held tight to the wheel as the high wind's engines roared to life and abruptly lifted them into the air. Yuffie's eyes widened. Oh yeah, I forgot. She gets motion sickness. Air sick or something. I can relate to. Well, I haven't been air sick, but I have been car sick and bus sick especially bus sick. Because the buses where I live, there's this one guy who drives really fast and he makes these really sharp turns, and it annoyingly makes my stomach sick. It annoyingly makes me sick. Yuffie's eyes widened. My stomach. Motion sickness. Walking unsteadily along the deck, she reached the wheel and wrapped her arms around Tifa's waist, resting her chin on Tifa's shoulder. "Do you mind?" she asked, a little shaky, and closed her eyes. "Nah, it's fine," Tifa said. She thought, but didn't add. She thought, but didn't add that it actually felt kind of nice to have to have Yuffie's warmth against her bare skin of her waist and shoulder. Ah. Oh, that's right. She's barely wearing any clothes, which I'm surprised haven't been torn off during the battles. Blushing slightly at the thought, she turned the wheel and began to fly across the world. Man, I wish they have all this stuff now with certain technology. Why don't they make a freaking airship? Well, then again, that would take like a whole bunch of money. But, that would be pretty awesome. I mean, people have like a hoverboard now, so let's see what happens, although I have my doubts. Half an hour or so passed while the high wind traversed. Half an hour or so passed while the high wind traversed the cloudless blue skies of the planet. The ground had changed quite a bit in some places, while in other places it seemed that nothing had ever happened. Cosmo Canyon was still standing, spared by the wrath of Holy by obvious reasons, as was Fort Condor. Midgar was still shining too brightly to look at, and most of the cities were changed to some degree, and the slopes of the southern crater, I was going to say Southern Raiders, darn Avatar, and the slopes of the southern crater were covered with a lush rolling forest, probably a byproduct of the life stream gushing out earlier. The northern continent's curse of eternal winter was ended at last. Oh, I'm guessing where it was snowy and stuff. I just thought it was part of the mountains or something. Or, because the mountain's up so high, that's when it's kind of cold and snowy. I could be wrong. Oh no, I lost my place. Oh. Of eternal winter was ended at last. With the destruction of Sephiroth and the final healing of all harms, the area was now a okay, I said it right. The area was now a verdant green, if a little chilly. The snowboarders won't be happy about this. Can't English. The snowboarders won't be happy about this turn of events, but it was a small price to pay. It was a small price to pay because the planet was saved. Get over it, skater dudes! Sorry, I'm just looking at this. I think, depending, I'm going to have to put this into 2 or 3 parts because of how long this might be. Yuffie had mostly Yuffie had mostly adjusted to the movements of the high wind at the end of the half hour, but she still held on to Tifa, looking around at the world that had subtly changed from what it once was. Her desire to see Wu Tai again was forgotten for a moment as she stood silently and continued to embrace Tifa's shapely form. Well, then again, Tifa is the most, I don't want to say that, what's the word, without sounding too weird. Because of Tifa's personality and her being badass, it makes people have a crush on Tifa. Damn it. People begin to develop a crush on Tifa and start falling for her. I was like that as well, and so was my brother when we were kids. And damn it. And sorry, I'm having a brain fart, and people keep walking by this place. I was like that as well when I was a kid, having a crush on Tifa, a huge crush. So, I can understand, and I know most people who were reading this story is like, Yuffie, you lucky bastard. Probably not, I don't know. Anyway, back to the story before I run out of time. It was so relaxing that her eyelids started to droop a little, and her mind and judgment seemed to cloud a bit. Tifa has nice breasts, she thought hazily to herself as she looked down at them. A lot nicer and larger than mine. She just stared at them, watching them rise and fall gently with each breath of Tifa's. I wonder if she'd let me touch them. Oh, I remember this story now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember the story. Anyway. Yeah, I remember this story. Probably I won't spoil it for you guys. I'm just going to keep reading. But first, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I don't know. People, I think, kept saying that Tifa's breasts were a bit... I think they said they were a bit disproportionate or something like that because her breasts were big, her waist was small, and so were her hips. I think. I don't know. As a kid, I didn't really look at her breasts. Yes, you could judge all you want. I never looked at her breasts. I just looked at her face and picture and her pretty personality and her being a badass, and that is what made me fall for her. And yeah, and I think that might have and I think because of the proportions being out of whack, they changed it a little. They changed it, especially in Final Fantasy VII. No, especially in Final Fantasy Duodessa. That was a really good. Game. I played it a little. My brother played it a whole lot more. It was a bit hard to control, but yeah, it was good. Because all the characters were there too, like Zidane, Titus, Yuna. I'm okay with Yuna. Zidane, Titus, Yuna, Cloud, Tifa, and a few others, but those guys are my favorite characters. But yeah. Anyway, back to the story before I wander off. I wonder if she'd let me touch them. I gotta think of a random voice. Sure! Sure, said the mischievous voice in the back of Tifa's head. She wouldn't mind a bit. I don't know, Yuffie thought to herself. Oh, she doesn't like girls touching her. Oh, don't be silly. The voice returned, sounding a bit irritated. Your arms are around her waist and she doesn't mind. Just go a few inches higher. Damn it. Just go a few inches higher, that's all. Nothing to it. So why not? Tifa started to, oh wait, before that, not Tifa, yeah, this part we can all relate to in certain areas of our lives, because it's like, I wonder if I should, no wait, I'm gonna use this as an example because I've had a whole bunch of these. Like an example, like if you've been in an argument to where one person is screaming at you and they're saying all this stuff that is basically insult. How can I put this in words? Basically, you get into a fight with someone. They yell and scream at you and telling you all this stuff that is out of anger, which is never a good thing to do because it shows how you are and what you are really thinking, because I've seen that firsthand. And throughout this time, you are silently just letting them talk, and then something they say makes you angry. And then you have either three choices or two choices. You could scream at them back and tell them all this other stuff, or you can charge up to them and punch them in the face. And you just like, it's like in your mind, it's like, I should really punch you in the face right now. But in the back of your head, depending, it's like, please don't, it's like, don't do it, you're gonna regret it, man, don't do it. And probably another voice is saying, do it, kind of like that. So that, or another thing, like you want to surprise someone or something, it's like, I don't know if I should do that, and the voice is like saying, don't worry, or come on, or wait, no, not like that, but like the voice in your, like the voice in the back of your head is saying, like, if you want to surprise them by giving them something, like, I don't know if I should give them this, I don't know if I should, because of how they are, or something, or they don't seem like they want to do anything. It's like, oh please, and the voice in the back of your head is saying, oh please, maybe you could, it's like, oh please, maybe you could just give them this. It could change their attitude or something. It's like, I don't know, they look kind of annoyed or something. I don't want to pester them. It's like, oh please, you pestered them before, so why not do it now? Kind of like that. And kind of like that in a way, or something like that, yeah. So we can all relate to that annoying voice in the back of our head saying, like, trying to push us to do certain things. That and the other voice in the back of our heads, telling us not to do it or you'll regret it. And 9 times out of 10, that voice who's telling you not to do it is correct. I should know, I have that. I usually think of that voice in the back of my head being like a certain character in a show that I like, which helps out. But I'm speaking out of context here. Anyway, back to the story. Yuffie started to object, then looked at Tifa's breasts again. Why not? Why not? I guess I'll just go ahead and do it. Tifa continued steering the high wind through the sky, oblivious to the battle raging in Yuffie's head. It's a wonderful feeling, she thought to herself. The wind rushing by my hair, the sensation of speed. Yuffie clinging to me, her hands on my... What the... She looked down and blushed brightly as she saw and felt the ninja's hands cupping her clothes-covered breasts. Well, most people would just from what I've seen in other aspects, I've read this, so anyway, most individuals, or most females that I know, who would have their breasts touched by people, they would be like, ah! And smack them on the face, or punch them in the head, or whatever. Or some people just wouldn't really mind and just say, why are you doing this? But anyway, everyone's different. Although the slapping and the punching thing happens in anime a lot. Okay. She opened her mouth to say something, but words failed her. Somewhat stunned, she just turned her attention back to steering the ship, blushing brightly as a single thought lingered in her mind. No one has ever been this gentle with me before. See? She likes it! The voice spoke gleefully to Yuffie. She certainly does, Yuffie thought, smiling dreamily. Too bad her sports bra's in the way. It's easy enough to remedy that, the voice reminded her. Stop giving her ideas! Yuffie blushed at the thought. But, crap, I lost my place. Oh. Yuffie blushed at that thought. Well, it's not that different from what you're doing now, right? I guess not, she admitted to herself. It just seems a little presumptuous, I guess. That and intrusive. Just saying. That and a little bit, intrusive. Especially if you... Never mind. Oh, please, the voice said. It's like... It's like, girl. Can't say words. It's like, girl, please, you fine. It just made me think of that. Okay, oh, please, the voice said imperiously. Let's not get started on this again. You want to do it, and she's sure to enjoy it. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't do it. I guess so, Yuffie thought, a little uncertainly. Delicately, she moved her hands. Oh no, she's gonna do it. Delicately, she moved her hands to the bottom of Tifa's white sports bra. Gently, I'm not even gonna ask how big it. Never mind. Top of Tifa's sports bra, gently put her fingertips underneath the edge of the cloth and slowly slid it up and over Tifa's breasts. Okay? I'm trying to get that image in my head. Anyway. Tifa gasped a little and blushed as her chest was suddenly exposed to the wind, her nipples hardening almost instantly, but blushed even more as Tifa's warm... Damn it! I keep saying Tifa! As Yuffie's warm hands cupped her bare breasts and began to slowly caress them. That can make anyone a little aroused. It took all of her willpower to concentrate on flying the ship instead of reacting to the ninja's delicate touches. Well, that would happen to anyone. Yeah, basically anyone, unless they have a mind of steel. So slowly she gripped the wheel and forced the high wind to stay still. Then started the landing sequence, shivering all the while as Yuffie continued her movements. The soft bump of the high wind settling shook Tifa out of her trance-like state, and after blinking a few times, she realized where she was. She realized where her hands were and what they were doing. Blushing profusely, she withdrew her hands and put them behind her back as Tifa turned around. Her face was also quite red. Yuffie looked at the floor so she wouldn't stare at Tifa's beautiful breasts. I could slightly understand why, but they're right there. You can't really miss them. I'm not just talking about Tifa's breasts. I don't even know how big they are. I mean any woman's breasts that are exposed to you right in front of you. And you try to look away, but you have the peripheral vision that makes you kind of see him even though you don't want to see him. It's like, oh, why? Just saying. Oh no, I lost my place. Okay. Yuffie looked at the... I lost my place. Okay. Breasts still covered... Oh, still covered as they... Still covered. I thought they were never mind. Still covered as they were pulled up... what? Still covered as they were by her pulled up sports bra. Okay. What was I ever thinking? Yuffie? Tifa, yes, Toof. Tifa asks the younger girl a little cautiously. Yes, ma'am, Yuffie replied, still looking at the floor. I'm only 16 after all, while Tifa's 21. Tifa giggled, her face still red, as she put a finger underneath the ninja's chin and lifted. Yuffie, that was fun. What? I just didn't want things to get out of control while I was flying the ship. Yes, because we don't... Oh, yes. Good thing. We don't want anything... Oh, yes. Good thing, Tifa. We don't want any lesbian sex right now while the ship is being... While the ship crashes into the... While the ship crashes into the Earth. No one wants that from anyone. Oh, damn it. Ow. Oh, I just didn't want things to get out of control when I was flying the ship. Yuffie's eyes widened as her face came level with... That doesn't make... Never mind. As her face came level... I think he means leveled. As her face came leveled with Tifa's chest. Really? You liked that? Tifa smiled. Oh yes, very much. You're very gentle. It's a wonderful difference for most people. Then again, that does make sense. She's mostly beaten up by almost everyone she meets. Well, almost everyone. And having someone do that is like a whole world of difference. Just like someone who's been in an abusive relationship, and if there was someone who's really nice, it's like a whole different perspective. I mean, you know what I mean. Tifa... Oh. Yuffie Kisaragi, proud... Oh. Yuffie Kisaragi, proud... I'm just kidding. The proud and witty ninja turned a flame bright red, and for once she had absolutely nothing to say. She was speechless. Cosmo Canyon was one of the only untouched places on the planet, so Tifa and Yuffie decided to visit it first. They left the high wind a short distance away and climbed the steps, passing under the sign to find a large number of people sitting around Cosmo Candle. Hi, everyone, Tifa said as she walked up to the group and sat down. Yuffie sitting next to her. What's going on? One of the older elders turned to her. Tifa, it's good to see you again. After a few minutes of small talk and catching up on things, the elder finally said, I believe Nanaki is waiting for you in in what? I believe Nanaki is waiting for you in Bugenhagen's lab. Nanaki's here? The elder nodded. Yes. The morning after Holy slammed into Meteor, we found Nanaki lying next to Cosmo Candle, fast asleep. Why was he asleep? Never mind, I would probably be asleep too if I was battling people and saving the world. We found Nanaki lying next to Cosmo Candle, fast asleep. He was waiting for you ever since he woke up. Aww. That's really good. That's really nice of him. Tifa blinked. How odd. How odd. Let's go see him, Yuffie, she said as she got to her feet and helped Yuffie up. What? What's so funny? Oh, what? What's so funny? She asked, somewhat confused, as she noticed several of the elders smiling and a few of the younger men laughing. Oh no, oh nothing, the first elder said, attempting to conceal a smile. Tifa said, and walked off with Yuffie in tow, much to the amusement of the people around the fire. Ah, they know something they don't. They know something Tifa and Yuffie don't. That usually means something. I don't think I've had that happen, but I've seen a lot of anime shows and read a whole lot of books to know what that means. Although I don't really know what that means, but anyway. Oh no, I gotta think of a name. I gotta think of something for that. Forget it. Hello, Tifa, Yuffie, Red 13 said gravely as the two of them walked into the lab. Hi, Nanagi, Tifa returned brightly. You wanted to talk to me? You and anyone else you brought, yes. I see you're traveling together. How did that happen? Oh, what? Oh, how did that happen? After Holy hit Meteor, we both ended up on the High Wind, so... Tifa trailed off and shrugged. Red 13 arched an eyebrow and smiled. Really? Imagine that. Oh, have you found any of the others? Imagine what? Tifa thought as she shook her head. Not yet. I thought this would be the best place to look. But anyway, what was it you... Oh, but anyway, what was it you wanted? Red 13 was quiet for a moment. Grandfather is dead. Oh, no, Bugenhagen. I swear Bugenhagen sounds like a German name. Hello, my name is Bugenhagen. I'm sorry to anyone who is German. I don't mean to offend. I swear people keep passing by this area. Like I said, the area... Oh, I don't think I've said this. The area that the top secret, damn it. The secret place that I'm recording this from is also a place where people usually... The place has a whole bunch of people walking back and forth. Anyway, no, he's dead. Grandfather is dead, he finally said very quietly. So it falls... Does it mean falls onto me? So it falls to me to protect Cosmo Canyon. Tifa sighed and wrapped her arms around Red 13's neck, causing him to purr quietly. I'm sorry to hear that, Nanagi, she said softly. Bugenhagen was a very wise man far more than most. Red 13 nodded. Well, in any case, I have some important information to pass on to you and your friends. Please bring back whomever you can after you find them all. Tifa blinked. Everyone? You know I'll find them? Yes, I believe so. Everyone, that is, except for Cloud. But you'll have to talk to Barrett about that, he quickly added with a half smile. Huh? Yuffie said, speaking for the first time. What's wrong with Cloud? Red 13 shrugged. Find Barrett and you'll learn about Cloud. I suggest that you go see Vincent first of all. I suggest that you go see Vincent first of all. Though you may not have much time. Oh no, something bad might happen to Vincent. Hurry, you guys! Tifa nodded and turned away, deciding not to ask any more questions. Come on, Yuffie, let's get going. The two of them walked out together, leaving behind a smiling Red 13. Even he knows something they don't know. Come on, what is it? This place still gives me the creeps! Sorry, I thought I heard something. This place still gives me the creeps, Yuffie said softly as she and Tifa walked down into the basement of the Shinra. Is it Shinra or Shinra? Of the Shinra mansion. Even though the monsters are gone, it's still weird down here. Tifa had the same thoughts but decided to keep quiet. Cautiously, she opened the basement door and walked inside, then stepped forward to give the coffin a nudge. Before she could even touch it, though, the lid flew open and hit the floor with a heavy thud, and Vincent Valentine floated up and out. I can't think of a really good voice for him. "You are back again," he said simply with an odd look of amusement on his shadowed face. Hey Vincent, why are you back in your coffin?" Yuffie asked brightly. Vincent smiled darkly. "Because this is where I was put." "Okay, but it's not really your home." Then again, if you've been there for a couple of years, you do kind of get used to it. Floating onto the floor and landing with a slight bump. With a slight bump, he continued. "After Holy and the meteor met, the darkness overcame me, for which I was infinitely grateful. When I awoke..." He fell into unconsciousness, okay. "I was infinitely grateful. When I awoke, I was lying in here once again. I can sleep with no more nightmares." "I can sleep with no more nightmares," he intoned deeply, "as my sins have been forgiven through my actions and yours, for Sephiroth is no more, the planet is at peace, and so am I as well." But never mind. It's different with that world compared to this world. Tifa smiled and gave Vincent a warm hug. "You're not a bad guy, Vincent." Vincent just smiled in his typical enigmatic fashion and floated back into the coffin after Tifa let go and lifted the lid closing over him as he laid himself down. Tifa was about to leave as Vincent's voice issued from the coffin, a low mumble. It's good to... Oh, wait, I have to do it muffled. It was good to travel with you, all of you. Oh, and you two... You two have my blessing. Even though it seems that Holy has already blessed you." Blessed? Blessing? Oh, I get it now. Okay. Tifa wondered as she and Yuffie walked out silently. What is Vincent talking about? Maybe Nanagi will know. Back on Highwind's bridge, Tifa was quiet and thoughtful as she... I lost it. Hang on. Tifa was quiet and thoughtful as she piloted the ship towards Rocket Town. I'm trying to think where that is. Where she thought, Rocket Town, that place. Ship towards the town. Rocket Town, where she thought Sid would probably be. A blessing? I wonder what he meant. What's on your mind, Tifa? Yuffie asked from behind her. I was just thinking about what Vincent said, she replied, not turning around as the ninja wrapped her arms around Tifa's waist again. You and I have Vincent's blessing, whatever that means, and Holy's blessing too. Yuffie rested her chin lightly on the older woman's shoulder. I have no idea about either one. Oh, I have no idea about either one, she said, giggling a little. But I'm sure they're nothing bad. I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. Oh, I wouldn't worry about it if I was you. Oh, I'm not worried. Oh, I'm not worried. Tifa quickly returned. Just a little confused, that's all. Tifa just smiled and hummed softly, falling asleep again. Her motion sickness forgotten again. Tifa blushed a little. Why am I enjoying this so much? Just flying, being with Yuffie? I don't understand. She blushed again and sighed softly as the ninja's hands wandered to her breasts and began gently massaging her, as before. Maybe I'll ask Nanagi, but for now, I'll just enjoy it. Yeah, pretty much. No, I'm kind of halfway done with this thing. How much time? Okay, I have enough time. I should have enough time. A few minutes later, the two of them, a little red-faced but smiling, jumped off the highwind again and headed into Rocket Town, which Tifa thought should be renamed. Which Tifa thought should be renamed after all. Renamed. After all, there wasn't a rocket. Oh yeah, that rocket flew into the meteor and stuff. Although that was kind of a bit of a bust, but eh. A few people... Oh. What? Hang on, I lost my place. There wasn't a rocket... Oh. There wasn't a rocket there anymore. Other than that, the town wasn't changed very much. A few people were out and about as Tifa and Yuffie walked up to the captain's house. Tifa knocked on the door, then stood back and waited. Crap, this is censored. I'll just probably do my own thing, like, fuck it all! What the fuck do I have to do to get some fucking peace and quiet around here? Said an unmistakable voice. Yeah, I remember Sid cussed a whole lot. Sid! She practically yelled. It's me, Tifa, and Yuffie's here. Huh? The fuck are you here? The fuck are you here for, Tifa? Came the reply after a few stomps. The door came the reply. After a few stomps, the door opened with the one and only Sid Highwind right behind it. He somehow seemed a little younger and more energetic than before. Makes sense in a way. Like if something occurs, then anyway, it's possible. Yeah, it is possible. And he didn't have his customary cigarette either. I don't know how she sounded. Dear, Shira said as she came up from behind him. Haven't we talked about your language? Please. Sid grumbled something and may have nearly blushed a little, if that was possible. But he relaxed and even put an arm around Shira's waist. Well, don't just stand there. Come on in, he said, turning around and walking back inside the house. Giggling softly, Tifa and Yuffie walked in together. Shira and I were just about to take a ride. A ride? Oh. Sid said by way of explanation. So what brings you here? He completed as Shira gave him a slightly disapproving look. Yes. The guy's kind of whipped. Then again, I think mostly significant others or couples, and even parents do the disapproving stare. I think I've seen that once on my family. Not really sure. But anyway, I don't really cuss that much around my family. I don't really cuss in general. But anyway. We're just trying to find whoever we can. Nanagi wanted to see us all again for some reason or other. Tifa said with a shrug. Oh yeah. You know, I actually wanted to see that place again, Sid said. How about I fly over there and meet you later? Tifa blinked. Fly? What do you fly with? Sid grinned. Better show you, I guess. Standing up from the table, Sheba followed him. He walked out the back door, motioning for the two girls to come along. Intrigued, Tifa walked out into the backyard, Yuffie closely following. So, what do you think? Sid said with a laugh. Ha ha ha. Tifa stared, unable to believe her eyes. The tiny Bronco, I think it's Brony. Anyway. The tiny Bronco had been finally restored. I don't know what the tiny Bronco is, but it was probably the ship that crashed into the water. It had a new coat of paint, some powerful-looking engines, and an interesting painting on the right wing. Yuffie moved over to the wing and looked a little closer at it. Hey! She said, giggling a little. Is this supposed to be She-Ra? She-Ra turned a bright red and looked at Sid, mortified. You didn't! You didn't! Sure I did. You're the only lucky girl I need. Sid finished and gave She-Ra a kiss, causing her to blush even more. No. Tifa just giggled and looked at the painting herself. It was the lucky girl, all right, just as she used to be on the High Wind. Oh, right, the redhead girl. When you said, "Oh, Lady Luck, don't fail me now." Except that she was considerably smaller and had She-Ra's face and hair as a model. She was still wearing that red bikini, though. Well, I can see you two are busy, Tifa said, smiling. So, I guess I'll see you later at Cosmo Canyon. It's like, well, I can see you're busy. I'll see you later. Bye. Kind of like that. She walked out with Tifa after waving brightly to Sid and She-Ra. Sid laughed and shook his head after they left. Oh man, I never would have guessed. Those two. Oh, okay. They know that those two are a couple, but those two don't know that they're a couple yet. Even though they have feelings for each other, they're not sure. But everyone else kind of knows and all that good stuff. The former capital city of Shinra was shining brightly as the High Wind approached, not rivaling the sun as it once had, but still a little bright, but still a little hard on the eyes as the live stream worked in and around it, changing everything, leaving the ship a little north of Midgar. Tifa and Yuffie walked towards one of the grassy hills just outside of the live stream's reach. Hey, Tifa! I know in the... Oh, wait. Said the cat... Oh, it's Kate Sith. I know in Final Fantasy, the Event Children version, the dub version, he had a bit of a Scottish accent. I'm not giving him that accent because I don't feel like it. Hey, Tifa! Said the cat on top of the huge stuffed Mog sitting on the hilltop. How have you been? Not too bad, Tifa replied. I had Yuffie to keep me company. Really? Really? He's like, oh, really? Kate Sith said, with just a hint of a smile. So, what brings you here? Still a little confused, Tifa replied, We're looking around the world for everyone. Nanaki wanted to get us all together again for some reason. Can you come back with us? Can you come back with us to Cosmo Canyon? Sure, the cat replied. I'd love to see the place again. What about you, Reeve? Oh yeah, Reeve. What about you, Reeve? Yuffie wanted to know. Kate Sith blinked several times. Wait, what? Kate Sith blinked several times. I'm okay. I decided to stay in Midgard to the end, so I could watch over everything. So, where are you in Midgard? The ninja continued. Not really sure, the cat said. Wait, what? Not really sure, the cat said a little strangely. It's too bright to tell, but I think everything's all right, even though I really don't know what's going on. Yuffie just nodded. Excuse me. Yuffie just nodded, and there was a little bit of uncomfortable silence. Awkward. I think Barrett's at calm. I think Barrett's at calm, Casey said suddenly. Marlene should be with him too. Let's go then, Tifa said. I'm wondering about what Nanagi said about Cloud. I think all of us are wondering that. Okay, I have a little bit of time, and I'm on... I should finish this in like 2 pages. Probably 3, I hope. From Midgard, the 3 of them walked north to the Highwind, then took a short trip east to the small town of Calm. The town was a little different from what it used to be. Somehow, the people were quieter, more relaxed, and smiling more often now. Maybe it's just the disappearance of Meteor. Well, I would probably be smiling too if I found out that happened and stuff. Speaking of which, well, I don't know. I was just thinking of that stuff. That, and it was making me think of that, I think it was a comet or meteor that happened a couple years ago or 2 years ago that almost hit the Earth. I think it was somewhere in Russia, but it just hit somewhere and it landed somewhere. So, yeah. Tifa thought to herself as she, Yuffie, and Kate Sith walked into the center of the town. Barrett was waiting there, with Marlene seated on his shoulder. I gotta think of a weird thing. Hey, Tifa! He called out, waving. He called out, waving his gun arm. You okay? I'm fine, Tifa replied as she walked over to him. What about you? Barrett shrugged. I'm okay, I guess. Cloud was here too, but he left. He added as a bit of an afterthought. Nanagi said to ask you about Cloud, Tifa said. So, what's there to tell about him? Barrett leaned his head back and laughed a little. I think he went crazy or something. Tifa, I can't do a black version of him, even though I am black. That's sad. He went crazy or something, Tifa. He went towards the Chocobo Ranch, saying he was gonna get a gold Chocobo and look for Eris. Blue golden Chocobo? What? Tifa frowned. But isn't Eris dead? That's what I told him, Barrett said. But he didn't listen. There's gotta be a way, he said. A way to bring her back. I'll find it. He shook his head and laughed. Man, I can't believe it. Kept saying things about bronze weapon, octagon weapon, pearl chocobos. Damn. He's just gotta be, he just gotta be out of his head. Poor Cloud. Sounds like he's in a bit of denial. Because I don't think that happened in the... I don't know. Poor guy, he's in denial. Weird. Weird, Yuffie said quietly. Well, will you come back to Cosmo Canyon with us? Tifa asked. Nanaki wanted to see us all again. I don't know why. Sure, Tifa, Barrett replied and joined the group when they left Calm. Might even stay there. Nice place, good people. Nice place, good people. Well, I guess everyone's here, Tifa said as she I'll just read this next part. Well, I guess everyone's here, Tifa said as she walked up to Cosmo Canyon with Yuffie, Kate Sith, and Barrett with Marlene and her. Sid was already there with Shara, and Red 13 was stretching out in front of the fire. So what's the big secret about? So what's the big secret stuff about, Red? Barrett asked. Barrett wanted to know. And I think I'm going to end it right there because I'm literally running out of time and I really have to get going. So this will be the first bit of this story after the storm. When I have time, I'll be able to finish the rest. Hopefully Wednesday or something. I don't really know. But, oh wow, this is about an hour. But anyway, yeah, that is the first bit. And I will finish this hopefully soon. If not, whatever, depending if I'm in the mood of concentrating on this story again. But anyway, thank you guys for listening to this story, and I will do more soon. Have a good night, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, or wherever you are around the country. Keep being yourselves. Don't let anyone judge you. Don't let anyone belittle you no matter what is going on, because things will get